بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. A few days ago I was thinking about the actual reason that led to the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and I soon realized that we have not only one, not two, we have many reasons that led to the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And you can go all the way back to the Saqifa, and before that to the event of the calamity of Thursday. All of these and many others. The fact that Muawiyah announced his son Yazid La'natullah alayhima as a king after him. All of these events led to the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But there is also one event or one reason that addressed by Imam Hussein alayhi salam himself on the day of Ashura, when he approached the army of Amr ibn Sa'd. He just wanted them to be a little bit quiet so he can talk, but they start booing. They start making noise and didn't allow him to talk. So Imam Hussein alayhi salam tried with them, but they didn't want to listen. So Imam Hussein alayhi salam said to them, وَكُلُّكُمْ عَاصٍ لِأَمْرِي غَيْرُ مُسْتَمِعٍ قَوْلِي. And all of you disobey my command and don't listen to my words. فَقَدْ مُلِئَتْ بُطُونُكُمْ مِنَ الْحَرَامِ وَطُبِعَ عَلَى قُلُوبِكُمْ. Why you did all of this? Because you have filled your stomach with unlawful and your hearts have been sealed. So you cannot tolerate the truth anymore or can't listen to the truth. Obviously, we all know that eating food that purchased with unlawful income is a sin and can have very negative effect both on the body and the soul. But sometimes also eating a food that purchased with lawful money or lawful income, and itself the food is not impure like wine. So say for example medicine. Sometimes eating that food can be also sin and can lead to very bad negative effect on the body. A very good example of this, which is the topic of today, is eating ultra-processed food, which has been defined as any food that contain ingredients that don't exist in a normal household kitchen. So you can think of preservatives, additives, coloring, sweeteners, which you can find them in almost every drink, soft drink, whether it's diet, non-diet, ready meals, bread. You can find them in ice cream, processed meat, and chocolate, and many other stuff. Ultra-processed food is bad not because it's processed food. We definitely, obviously, we have to process our food in order to consume it. So we have to cook our food, which is a form of processing. We chew our food also, which is also a form of processing. But when you ultra-process something, turn it into very small pieces, smooth, full with high amount of sugar, fat, salt, and many other chemical stuff, will become harmful because it will easily lead to overeating. Just remember the fact that it will take the brain 20 minutes to register that someone is full. If I'm hungry, I go and eat. At some point I will stop because I'm feeling full. 20 minutes before that, I was full, but I didn't realize. And we have many hadiths from the Prophet ﷺ saying that we don't eat unless we are hungry, and if we eat, we stop before feeling completely full. And we also been encouraged a lot to chew our food, spend a lot of time chewing our food, so that all of it will lead to stopping before you actually feeling full. And you know that overeating will eventually lead to obesity, and 25% of the population of the UK obese. They have obesity problem, and about 35% they have overweight problem. And obesity is a big problem in the whole world, not in the UK only. It's a lot in the Gulf country and West country. And you know that obesity can lead, one of the reasons can lead to the early death and the root cause of many, many, many diseases. Now, also there's one thing also can think about processed food when you eat it, and why it's harmful, because it will cause addiction, and that's because it contain a lot of sugar and fat and many other stuff, which is designed to play with the brain. Food and fat mainly associated with happiness and reward, and this is becoming even worse, becoming like an even bigger problem when parents contribute to this, where they raise their children or bring up their children associating between reward and junk food, or happiness and junk food through reward. So when my child, for example, does something good, I say to him, well done, here have a chocolate, here have ice cream. If you pass your exam, then I will buy you this, a box of chocolate. And the child will grow up associating between happiness and junk food, because reward lead to happiness. We all, if you got promotion, will become happy because it's a form of reward. And reward lead to happiness, so we associate happiness with junk food. So that when they grow up, like maybe 30, 20 years, when they start getting stressed because of life, they find themselves without any conscience going and eating junk food. I have seen it in many people that, and this is called stress eating. I have seen many, many people, they go and eat ice cream when they are stressed. I have seen people eating cake when they are stressed, so they can't calm down. And this is because ultra-processed food and junk food, usually they contain high amount of sugar and fat, which will calm the brain down immediately. And because they are not hungry, this fat will go and collect around the belly, causing many diseases. And the common sign between people who have longest term stress, that they have fat around their belly. And ultra-processed food also contain very well-known harmful chemicals or additives. There are a lot of categories. You can find them in the E numbers usually in the food. So you have the 100, 200, 300, 400, and 600, and 700. I'll just talk about the processed meat. The processed meat usually in almost the whole world, maybe only in Denmark they don't have that. They use sodium nitrite in it. And sodium nitrite is well-known poison. There are many studies, there are many like stuff I can talk about sodium nitrite, but a study done by the USA government in 1960 found that sodium nitrite is associated with cancer. Many cancers, that especially that hit the digestive system, related to the sodium nitrite, which is also known by E250. But why the food industry does all of this? Because they want to maximize their profit. The additive is not a food. With the additives, you can potentially convert very low quality food, cheap food, into something that look nice and taste nice. So for example, they use monosodium glutamate, which is the E number of its E621. And this is look like a salt. Has many, many serious effects. Like the easiest side effect of it is headache. They use it in many famous crisps. The rectangle one, I don't want to mention the name. And if you potentially come and take monosodium glutamate and put it in a little bit of gum, give it to someone, they will thank you that you give them nice piece of meat cooked with cheese. With a lot of people who cannot even resist. And this is cause also intensify the flavor of the food, that you cannot resist stopping eating it. And that's why a lot of people cannot stop eating crisp in the morning. And unfortunately also supermarkets contribute to this by collaborating with the food industry. So I don't know if you noticed that if you go to any supermarket, you will find the junk food usually at the hand reach level. So sometimes even if there is like a good biscuit that doesn't have any bad ingredient, you have to bend down, you have to bring steps to reach out to it. And when you finally get it, you will find that it's very expensive. So you say to yourself, why I should buy it? That's why also if you compare between, for example, organic food vegetables, you'll find them much, much expensive, more expensive than junk food. So people give up, especially people who don't have a lot of income. So why instead not cooking all of these at home? Spending some time preparing these with some good healthy ingredient, and you're less likely to eat more when you cook it at home because it's not ultra processed. Why immediately go jump and just buy fast food immediately? Studies shows that people who eat a lot of fast food, they become less patient because they train themselves that immediately I will get it. I'll order it and immediately I'll get it. They become less patient. On the other hand, research and studies shows that people who spend time cooking their food, cooking it with love and being in good mood, the food will taste nicer because you are less likely to mix between ingredients, use bad ingredient or use sugar instead of salt, for example, if you are calm and being in good mood. And this way, not you only protecting yourself, you are protecting your family. You're protecting the deposit or the amanat you have, which are your children. A lot of the time when the child gets unwell, it's the fault of the parent. Just on the topic of the E50, because I didn't mention that, which is sodium nitrite, a scientist in USA, she was asked to study cancer among children. They found like a lot of cancer hitting children in USA, and they asked her to go and research about it. So she's decided to go and to talk to the parent of those children. One thing common she found between all of those parents that they give their children a lot of hot dog. And hot dog is a processed meat. They use sodium nitrite in it. And the reason that they use sodium nitrite because they want to keep the meat pink. And sodium nitrite is the only compound that we know about it that will give the meat that pink color. Because meat seller, they will think that people will not buy their meat if it's look like brown because they cook it. And in order to keep it pink, they put sodium nitrite in it. And also by not buying from ultra-processed food or preparing food stuff at home, you are not contributing to this sin. You are not making their business stronger. And we should not think that, oh, what can I do? I'm just a single person. What can I do? Even if I stop buying, they will continue to sell this stuff. This wasn't the mentality of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who went with he stood up against Yazid, knowing that they are less, but he didn't stop. He didn't say, oh, we are a very small amount of people, what we can do, we cannot change. In fact, if you look in the history, a lot of big events in the history being done by individual, a single person. So you see Imam Hussein alayhi salam on the day of Ashura, to the end of his life, he was lonely. Until the end of his life, he was suffering from this loneliness. You can imagine him at that last amount of time when he lost all of his companion and his children, his family, his brothers. He started calling, Amam al-Mughithan yughithuna ala wajhillah. Is there no one to help us for the sake of Allah? Amam al-Dabbin yadubbu an harami Rasulillah. Is there no one to defend the family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Just to see how Imam Hussein alayhi salam was lonely. Abu Mukhnaf, the famous historian. Any historian came after him, quoted his work. Tabari, Ibn al-Athir, and many, many other people quoted his work. I think he was the first person to document what happened to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He has a book called Al-Maqtal, known by Maqtal ibn Abi Makhnaf. He mentioned a narration from Dhahhak ibn Abdullah al-Mashrafi, who was with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And Dhahhak ibn Abdullah al-Mashrafi says that when I saw Imam Hussein alayhi salam lost all his companion, he had just two people, I went to him and asked permission from him. Did he want to take permission to go fight? Like Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam, like that little boy who came to Imam Hussein alayhi salam said to him, please give me permission, I want to go fight. Imam Hussein alayhi salam said to him, no, your mother will get upset. The boy said to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, my mother put this military uniform on me. So the Dhahhak ibn Abdullah al-Mashrafi came to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, said, I want your permission, I want to leave. because I made a deal with you that I will only support you as long you have a support, as long you have a fighter with you. And now that you lost all your companion, I want to leave. Yet Imam Hassan alayhi salam, very calm. Imagine today you want to leave your work and you have a big project, you didn't finish that project, what the manager will do. Imam Hassan alayhi salam was very calm, and he said to him, of course, I remember I made that deal with you, but how you are going to do it? We are surrounded with the enemies. Dhahak ibn Abdullah al-Mashrafi says that I knew before, when I saw that the enemy hitting the horses of our Imam Hassan alayhi salam horses, the feet of the Imam Hassan alayhi salam horses, I went and hid my horse inside the tent. So when Imam Hassan alayhi salam gave me the permission, I went and I took that horse. I went up I rid the horse and went toward the enemy. And apparently when he reached to the enemy with all of that dust and distraction, he threw himself out of the horse and started running away. He started running until he reached to while few people noticed from the enemy side, few soldiers, so they start following him until they reached to a city or a village on the Al-Furat River. They wanted to kill him, they wanted to or arrest him, but then two people from the enemy side recognized him. They said, this is our cousin, we will not let you kill our cousin. And he says, then Allah saved me by doing this. Yes, he was saved, but he with the cost that leaving his Imam alone by himself, which is a big sin. Even that Imam Hassan alayhi salam prayed for him, which is not the place for it to address. He made a big sin by not helping his Imam. And this is for one reason, because he made a condition with Imam Hassan alayhi salam. He didn't submit completely. I'll stop here. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.